How you doing, Internet? I'm B-Nuts, and today we'll be taking a look at the Megami Device SOL Hornet by Kotobukiya. A little bit of side information, or perhaps background information, before I move on to the review itself. Megami Device is the successor line to Kotobukiya's BUSOU Shinki line. As such, it improves upon their old multi-movable system, or MMS, standard, and as well as the body type dubbed Machinica, or MMS4. This continues the line of 1-to-1 scale Mecha Musume robot girl figures, and as opposed to the Shinki, which dueled one-on-one, supposedly. I don't know that much about them, but these fight more on a team versus team basis. As such, they were released in waves, usually of 2. The first wave was Women's Imperial Space Marines, or WSIM, and they came as 2, the Scout Assault and the Sniper Grappler. And you could build one or the other, as there weren't enough parts to build both, say, the Scout and Assault in the same package. And there were differences between them, but you could combine their weapons and gear more easily, far more easily than you could their physical traits, because they have different faces, different heads, sometimes different skin colors. The second wave are the Sonic Operations Ladies, or SOL, and these are the Hornet and the Roadrunner. Hornet, as you will see, is their Air Force type, while the Roadrunner specializes on running on land, SRA, or Asura, and it consists of the Ninja and Archer. Ninja will have knives and arm blades and a cool scarf. Archer will have a bow and swords, and probably be the bustiest of all of them. So they all come with slightly different body types, but those are the waves so far. There may be more later on, however, those are the waves as they come. And the other thing is that if you get both sides, then you can combine armor and arms for a sort of full armor mode, which also means that you can't do that unless you buy both. And furthermore, that you can't get full armor for all of them for both sides unless you buy 2 of them. So that's pretty fair money-making scheme on Kotobukiya's part, but it's there so that you can do that. And finally, there's compatibility, or at least as far as it's supposed to be. So this is Kotobukiya, just like Frame Arms Girls and Frame Arms, and it uses 3mm port systems, which means that it will be compatible with anything that also shares that standard 3mm part. And most of them, figures, model kits, they all use them, most of them. And the Megami Device is supposed to be at least partially sideways compatible with FA Girls as well. And as you will see, there is an adapter for the neck that allows one to use an FA Girl's head on a Megami Device body. And just in case you were wondering, there is a reason for the name. The Megami, it stands for Mechanical Girls / Armament of Miniature, which also acknowledges the fact that they're supposed to be 1-to-1 scale. And you can see there some different modes for them, as well as here the full armor mode for SOL Hornet using Roadrunner parts. Full armor mode for Roadrunner with Hornet parts will definitely look very different. So here we have SOL Hornet all snapped together on the stand that is included, and I haven't really done all that much modification to it. I haven't even put on the water slide decals. I've never used water slide decals before, so I'm kind of nervous about that. I wanted to practice a bit before I actually apply them to this one. And apart from the shoulders here and the upper thighs, it is in armor mode at the moment. And I also have her rifle attached to the side there. I did cement on some parts, the little wingtips there, as well as these ones on there, because they're in by friction almost exclusively. And this one has onto a little peg in a slot. It's not all that solid a connection, so you may also find yourself wanting to cement that in. But that is the way she looks, just put together and with the basic expression underneath the visor. And it is pretty cool that they included the clear visor so that you can see the face behind it, the detail. But you do have it here. Here we have a couple of sort of polycaps. They're not really polycaps. Some hands. So we have closed fists, open sort of flat hands. This looks like trigger finger hands. Some more joints for the kneecap. You can see it there as well. And this one didn't really use a piece like that. Didn't use anything like that. They might be for rockets rather than shins. This one looks like it might be shoulders. The joints that are in the elbows or knees. This body part. If you wanted to have a connection piece for, say, the hip armor, as well as a stand, you can use that. Armor parts for the upper thighs, the upper leg, shoulders. And you notice they have black parts rather than skin toned or orange. Open and spread fingers. Plain feet. It's the bare chest that you use rather than this one. So the mystery to me is why they have the different shapes. Another stand adapter. The one that I'm using is angled slightly up, as you can see, and that gives what I believe to be a better angle. Another crotch piece, the chest piece without the armor on it. It's got some detail latched in. The water slide decals, which look very nice. The circle ones are for the sides on the helmet, and there is a guide inside the manual for what's supposed to be used where. I'm going to practice a bit before I actually use those. The neck piece and the head. Now this neck and head piece is for the unarmored form. And that's sort of the sly, very sassy expression. You can see she has a little bun on there. So you actually have two heads. And this head is complete. The one with the helmet is mostly just the helmet structure, and then you put the faceplate on. And then you've got this smiling one, but it's a little freaky in my opinion because of the way that the mouth attaches, and that is a separate part that you have to put on there. I'm not sure I have mine on correctly, to be honest. In order to switch, since I have it here, I need that there. There we go. Different head. But this is definitely my favorite expression. So sassy. And while this all looks very nice, to a certain extent it's got some pretty good detail, and the joints look fairly smooth, There is one thing that I definitely don't like about this figure, and that is the stand. It's so wobbly. I can have it resting, and it will shake all over even at the slightest movement. And you've got the rifle. The joints are quite stiff, but it has several areas of articulation. These wings here themselves are just pegged in like this through there, and they can be rotated like that. They join the middle section there, and that is just through friction. So I've tried to glue that in. I'm not sure whether or not I missed, but it does come off rather easily. And this can turn here and rotate here. And this can go out and back in and rotate down here. And that's just there. This entire piece, apart from the hood, top and bottom, is all one. And then you have this at the bottom. That's all one piece, even though it looks like it might be, say, the frame for a leg. It's not. And it has 2 points of attachment, one which you can use for a stand, the other which you can come up with a different purpose for if you like. So this backpack is fairly articulate. The side armor is composed of 3 pieces. This front piece, the cover, the black one, and the back piece, which attaches then into some ports in the sides of that bottom thing, just like there are attachment points for that for the 2 boosters. Because of the way these are, I did try to glue them together so they wouldn't always fall apart, and that has met with, I would think, limited success. The entire booster assembly is just on a peg in the lower back. This is attached onto a single peg into this piece here, which is attached to this piece here, is replaced with this. Those angled pegs, like that. To change this, just pull that off, put that on, and pop it back in. Turn those out of the way. You can take the one you want and put it in. To switch the abdomen, and to do that, you basically need to take off the waist. To remove that as well, the butt. The most unsecure part of this model, it just sandwiches in, put the arm back in, just rest her there. Removable mask just tabs in very simply. The visor also comes off. It's the third faceplate that you have. Tab the face mask on here. Yep. For articulation for the figure itself, this is the neck all the way forward, all the way back, head. Can't really go up that much more, but this is all the way forward there. So she can look right down, tilting side to side. Whoops. It's basically as much as you can do without rolling her head off. Actually, no. It's a joint that's in the top of the neck. Can go up pretty far. And of course, rotate at the ball joint. Rotate there. All the way around. Very good bend at the elbow. Hinged ball at the wrist, which detaches very, very easily if you're not careful. And you can get it into any angle, basically, that you want, just like that. For the body, you have ball joint up here, cut, and you can go forwards and backwards that far. And rotate. There is nothing for a turn at the hip, but it can go forwards and backwards due to the joints down there that is attached to the hips. So she can bend really, really far, and together with the neck, turns into something of a contortionist. Legs. Up that far. I just straighten that. Back that far. That's not bending out of the way. Sort of is. Sideways that far. Can rotate here. Double bend at the knee. And ankle. No true rotation. Only a little bit of a tilt. Back. Almost directly down. Almost do it. That's starting to come off. Directly up. And a toe bend. And then you're probably wondering about the armored foot. Since I don't have the full armor, I don't have the Roadrunner, this is as much as the armor interferes. And actually this one has a deep ankle tilt. The chest piece doesn't really get in the way of that articulation, but I've got a few things to test for compatibility, and that's going to fit into the hand. MSG has some bigger things. There we go. Not too shabby. Goes in. The joints definitely aren't the strongest, and that wasn't just plucking things off, it was more like grabbing something and then watching everything fall apart. But it can hold it, and sliding it into the hand is much better than trying to force it through the fingers. And before I put the Mega Slash Edge and everything back onto Innocentia, how about I try this backpack on her? Wrong color. If I'd kept her in the original color, then it would match. There we go. If the grip wasn't so wide, it would work without a problem at all. I wonder if that would always be an issue, getting the head on straight. The arm looks kind of silly because it's too long. Well, that's an issue. Like that. So weapon storage. The hair gets in the way, so that's not going to work. And the answer, yes it can. Ooh, that is all kinds of odd. But it does connect. It does connect. I got Hornet from Ami on sale. The funny thing is that even just standing on the stand that came with the Hornet, Gwen has to lean back slightly just to get in so that her feet are on the ground. And the peg is reaching the hole in her back. But here you can see height comparisons with AGP Gore Megala, Amazing Yamaguchi Spider-Gwen, Soul Hornet of course, Innocentia, Frame Arms Girl, and HG Astroth Origin, Star Wish, and also Figma Nanaha Sacred Mode. So the question, do I recommend this kit? I do indeed, provided Mecha Musume is something that you're into. This is a good kit, and you can get it for a fairly good price, provided you have good timing and you know where to look. As I believe I've said before, Ami is good for getting items that are listed as pre-owned. But that about does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, you can leave a like, comment below what you thought. You can subscribe to show your support for my channel, or even check out my Patreon. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye!